car enthusiasts, Lightning McQueen's Get Ready, the QC Auto Show returns this weekend, and this year's show will be at a new special location. We've heard a lot recently about license plate readers. Now more could be on the way. So y'all remember when those flights during the pandemic were nice and low? Well, now the average cost for round-trip airline tickets, oh gosh, is $330. Whew!
Jim, quick little history lesson for you here. The art alleyway dates back to 1994. That was first built to fill a gap in Rock Island's riverfront and the Arts and Entertainment District.
The Iowa Hawkeyes are playing the Michigan Wolverines this Saturday for the Big Ten Championship. And for local Quad City viewers, that means a few things: good drinks, good vibes, and good pizza. We love a good family reunion. Now, through World Relief Quad Cities, the Mozart family has been able to purchase their home and find work and school. Tonight's meeting was moved to the Waterfront Convention Center to accommodate a bigger crowd of people. So we have some good signs over the weekend when it comes to those gas prices. Experts say we may be seeing a little trends in the lower prices. Let's take a look here at the weekend from both sides of the Quad Cities. Certainly good news for those looking for summer work. Blake, thank you so much. Keeping up with things to do over the summer. Major changes coming to the Niamey Zoo this year. As the number of COVID cases increase, so are tensions over dealing with it in schools. The Kung Fu Panda world expands. It's Friday. We finally made it to the weekend, and just at the end of the road, Andy, it's like a Boyz II Men song. At the end of the road, there were teardrops or raindrops. Yeah. Doesn't that sound like a Boyz II Men? No. Let's go ahead and jump straight into your top story this morning. Members of the United Steelworkers International Union Local 105 have unanimously voted to authorize a strike against Arconic if contract talks fail. Now, the contract between Arconic and the union expires at noon on Sunday. Gas prices across the country, as well as Iowa and Illinois, are sitting at record highs. But some drivers from places with higher prices are fine with those costs. And you've seen it and I've seen it. Gas prices are higher locally in Iowa and Illinois, all around the Quad Cities. A reward to help find the person who killed a cat is now up to more than $10,000. Milo is the cat's name. The Quad Cities has made it very clear that Ukraine has its support. Lots of exciting news that happened here at the Merrill Hotel in downtown Muscatine. While mortgage rates may be on the rise, realtors do say that there are many resources available for those first-time homeowners. Not only has Fletcher been an adorable addition to Mark Twain Elementary, but faculty, staff, and those students are reporting improvements both in and outside of the classroom. From changing the I-74 bridge lights to blue and yellow to sending thousands of dollars to Ukrainian Jewish families in need, and now local businesses are raising money for families during this crisis. The organizers of this walkout, called Minority Leaders of Tomorrow, said that originally only about 50 students planned on walking out of the school just this morning, and to their surprise, hundreds showed up to show their support. I had the absolute delight to meet Willow earlier today, and I learned that she is full of energy and personality. She adores her family pet Bentley, but Bentley is not a trained service dog, and her parents are certain that a service dog could really help her out. We took Mariel's account of this to Moline Schools. In a statement, we were told, quote, "The incident is being investigated by our district administration." A ninth grader sharing her version of the events that in part fueled this protest.
Me and my friend were just walking to the cafeteria, and there's a group of boys just across from us, and they were talking to each other, and they were just using the N-word.
Shortly, that group was involved with a school administrator.
She was like, "You can't say that." Then she started saying the N-word. And then one of the boys was like, "Oh, this teacher just said the N-word." And I was like, "You can't say that." And then she was like, "I have family by marriage that's black. I can say that." So no, you can't.
Bringing us back to a conversation about the N-word.
In my opinion, it's not okay to say it, period. But I do understand that it is a culture thing. And so you may hear black people singing that to black people, but it's not okay for you to say it.
Something that Tracy Singleton deals with often as an executive director of the Lincoln Resource Center in Davenport.
I've been an advocate for the black community here in the Quad Cities for well over 25 years.
A black-founded, black-led organization.
You have to be so conscious of the weight of that word. We have people say, oh, it's just a word. It's not just a word. And if you feel it's just a word, then you have some research to do.
The N-word, weaponized from slavery and then seen in the civil rights movement, and now heard today in rap and hip hop music and often in daily conversation.
Regardless of whether you got black friends or whether you got black relatives or whether you live in a black neighborhood or whether you grew up around black people, it is not okay.
The summer of 1619 was the first documented arrival of slaves in the United States, and the Africans were referred to using the Spanish and Portuguese words for black, which is where the word comes from. Since then, the word has seen many changes in the black community. On one hand, it could be seen as insulting, yet on the other hand, it has been popularized as a term of endearment for black people. But for those who do not identify as African American,
it's just not okay for anyone other outside the race to feel like they're okay to say this.
I'm trying to explain to her why she can't use it.
That's when it's time for us to say something.
give me those fists up!
More people need to stand up like those students did at Moline. And we have to be brave enough and confident enough in who we are to call people out when they are saying these microaggressions and these passive aggressive statements, because if you don't say anything, then they're going to think it's okay.
Kennedy Cook, Local 4 News.
An awe moment.
2 weeks before Christmas, Robert Ogan was getting ready to pay his son's phone bill.
Expecting to see $80 to $100.
However, what was wrapped in this envelope was no Christmas gift.
I opened the December bill and, it was over $2,700.
International calls made from his son.
$1,900 of the bill was for long distance charges to British Columbia. Another 600 and some of the bill was for taxes and surcharges.
Robert was stressed and confused.
I had, first off, zero idea why my son was calling Canada. I went to my son right away.
15-year-old Declan Ogan also had no idea what he had done.
There was no notification that, I was allowing these charges. There was no indication.
And after many attempts reaching out to Verizon Wireless,
they said it was just left on an old plan.
Verizon at first made no effort to resolve this issue. A frustrated Robert reached out to our station asking for some help.
Within probably, a few hours of you calling, they reached out to me.
I was able to get in contact with Verizon and inquire about this issue.
But thankfully, that's where you guys stepped in and were able to, impress upon them that this, the situation wasn't really being made right.
Verizon was able to fix Robert's bill while providing us with tips on how they can be avoided. In a statement from Verizon, they said, quote, "In general, it's important for customers to understand what is included in our plans, and we encourage them to take advantage of new options." This being something Robert can't agree with.
Know what plan you're part of. Have an open communication between not only your cell phone provider and yourself, but also with your kids. There was just a lack of communication both between Verizon and myself.
Local 4 working for you.
You guys are there for us too. If you get into a situation where you feel things aren't fair, to reach out to you guys and see what you can lend to that situation as well.